The progress line is a red vertical line drawn on the chart based upon either the status or the current date. Now, we already covered the status date in the status date training video, so we'll continue here creating a progress line on the chart based upon the current date. Now, before I do it or add the progress line, I need to change my current date. I'm going to come up here, click on the project menu, go down to project information, because as you recall, my project was back in 08 and the current date is in 09. So I'm going to come over here and copy the start date, paste it over the current date, and then click on the drop down arrow and pretend that our current date is only several days out from the project start date, which let's say is August the 14th. Okay, click OK. When I click OK, you'll notice that the current date is indicated here on the gray line in the Gantt chart, which is nice because I can look at that and see the tasks behind it if they're completed or not. But more importantly, if I go ahead and add the progress line to the chart that's based upon the current date, that red line is going to peek over to the left on any task that's behind schedule or that hasn't been finished by the current date. So to do that, I'm going to find a blank area here in the chart and right click, go down to progress lines, come up here on the date and intervals tab and check always display current progress line, and it can be based upon the status or the current date. Again, we already did the status date, so we'll select current date, click OK, and there it is. So as the current date moves along, the progress line will move along day by day. And you can see that when it peaks left, it's peaking at the left of all the tasks that are behind schedule. If it peaks to the right, that means it's ahead of schedule. In this case, it looks like it's on schedule as we move from day to day. And then of course you can get rid of this or change it from the current date to the status date with the right click. But before I change it to the status date, I need a status date. And I can come up here and click on the project menu, go back to project information. You can see I don't have a status date, so by default, if I change it to the status date, it's just going to look at the current date. So I can come up here, copy it, come down here, paste it, click on the drop down arrow. So I know the current date. Let's say I want a status date for, let's say back on the 11th here, a few days earlier. Click OK. I'm going to go ahead and find a blank area here and right click, go down to the progress lines and say go ahead and base that progress line upon the status date. Click OK. And it updates. So now you can see here that it's behind a little bit, at least at that point in time, some of these tasks here, but the outline phase was a little bit ahead of schedule because it's peaking to the right. Pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, go to the progress lines, uncheck the box here, click OK, and it's gone. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.